Go, go, Andy, go, Andy, go, Andy, go, Andy, go. Yay! What's up, y'all? Hope you're doing well. Hope you're doing good. Welcome to another video. I appreciate you taking the time to sit and watch this video. One of the big topics of conversation in this last week, has been Angel Reese and class taunting, trash talking, and whatnot. There's been conversations about her being a classless POS for taunting, taking it too far, doing this and that. The one thing that I think a lot of people aren't focusing on is that this is actually what the WNBA more so and women's basketball need. Even to take it a little bit further back, I don't think I've ever seen this much spice or trash talking in college women's basketball in a long time. You had incidents, and some were actually taken a little too far. Others were on the line. So we had the whole thing against Louisville versus Texas, where during the line the players had a little confrontation, and there was a little back and forth there. It looked like from some of the breakdowns that people had that one of the players said, "If you call me again, I'm gonna beat you," and another player said, "So what? Whatever." And there was that little back and forth. And then it's funny, we even had an incident at Memphis where a player assaulted another player, and I feel like that was in the news cycle for like a day. That was an example of a player taking it too far and not showing emotional control. But anyways, there has been a lot of spice, a lot of talk. There were fights even during the regular season, just a lot going on, I feel like, in this college women's basketball season. And then we had the national championship game. And I think even from the onset, it was built a certain way from what happened with Iowa and South Carolina, because there's optics and people can say this and that about it, but there's optics around this particular game, around this national championship. And I think that's important. I think that that's what women's basketball, especially the WNBA, need, because the WNBA has a marketing problem. I believe, me personally, and I could be wrong, I believe that's their main issue. They need players like Angel Reese. As much as they need players like Caitlin-Clark, these generational talents, or Aaliyah Boston, they need players like Angel Reese. Because Angel Reese is also, again, the stats or whatever, but she gets the job done. Angel Reese is also a talent. She's a talent. She talks. She backs it up. And when's the last time you saw this much conversation around a national championship game and around really women's college basketball in a long time? This is the most I've seen. Like Angel Reese's moment took over the Monday news cycle, and I think overshadowed the men's championship. But that's what they need. They need more spice, because it's also funny. The same people who are calling her classless and calling her a POS, these are the same people who get upset when there are participation trophies, or they call people soft. They say NBA players are soft, and to me, it doesn't matter whether it's women or men. If people want to carry themselves a certain way and then back it up, you may dislike them, but they have every right to do that. And Angel Reese has every right to be the player that she wants to be, just as much as Caitlin-Clark. Because I'm positive Caitlin-Clark is probably, and people said it, Caitlin-Clark, from the you can't see me gesture at the end of that Iowa Louisville game, was probably just a little tip of the iceberg to what she's saying during the actual game. Because I can only imagine those are the people that you think don't talk trash that talk the most trash. And they're going to say stuff to rile you up. They're going to say little things, small things. I mean, Skipbayless threw Larrybird under the bus on Monday about what he said at the 3-point contest, which was wild. And I'm surprised that didn't go in the news cycle. I'm sure it will by the time this video comes out. But anyways, as much as the WNBA needs players like Caitlin Clark, they need players like Angel Reese to stir the pot. Because Angel Reese, whether you love her or you don't like her, she is marketing gold. They will be able to market her because one of the things that I think that the WNBA is missing outside of marketing is they're missing those good classic rivalries. Because as good as some of the players are, like you still have Diana Taurasi, you had Sue Bird, you have Aja Wilson. There aren't those good rivalries. There aren't those good, when players those marquee matchups that people like want to be like, all right, they're gonna get together, they're gonna do this and that. Imagine if you had the same hype and build up around the Iowa game and the LSU game that you had going into a WNBA game. Imagine if the WNBA could build on that. Angel Reese had been talking trash the entire season, and people were critiquing her, people were calling her this and that, but she was just being herself, and she has every right to be herself. And she's a good basketball player. Whatever the stats are, whatever her shooting percentage is, or whatever her attempts are, and however much, she still scores. She still gets the job done, and she won at the end of the day. And what do they say? They say winners write history. Angel Reese wrote history. Like I said, whether you like her or you don't like her, she's the one that wrote history. So I think it's again, it's just funny the people complaining and saying, I would never, if I was a coach, I would never I would never coach players like that and blase blase and this and that. But these are the same people who they cheered on, and they're the way the game that they watch is the game that built this game. Another thing, everybody says, "Oh, the NBA is getting too soft. Why are the players so friendly to each other? Why don't they do this and that? Why don't they do this and that?" But when somebody does something that they don't like, then it's considered tasteless. You can't have it both ways. You can't have it both ways. The NBA is either going to be tough like it was in the 80s and 90s, where they were talking trash, or it's going to be like it is now, where they're friends, but they may talk trash, and then when somebody starts talking trash, it becomes this big thing. So you even see it, and you've even seen it in the NBA this year. The NBA guys, for whatever reason, everybody's trying to fight. I think Jordan Clarkson has been in almost like 20 fights this season. Everybody's trying to throw hands. Everybody's like, nobody's really playing friendly anymore. So it's like, and another thing, I think there's this weird misconception that all these sports are gentlemen sports, and they're not. I think maybe the only two American sports that are really gentlemen sports are maybe tennis and golf. And even in golf, you hear about some of the stuff they be doing, talking to their opponents and stuff like that. They talk trash in a gentlemanly way, but still it's trash talking. I think none of these sports have been geared to be gentlemen sports. None of these sports are gentlemen sports. So it's like, why do people keep trying to put these standards or say you're supposed to uphold yourself in a certain way in these sports where it's never been that way? Let these people play the game that they want to play, how they want to play it. Me personally, I don't think Angel Reese did anything wrong. I don't think she took it too far. It's part of the game, and that's her game. And again, like I said, that's what the WNBA needs that badly. So just as much as they need a generational talent like Caitlin Clark, they need a generational talent who's going to talk trash and stick by it and stand by it. Because you saw what she said when Joe Biden, which was super weird, that Joe Biden said that she wanted to invite Iowa and LSU to the White House. And Angel Reese was like, "Nah, we ain't coming. If that's the case, what for? What we like to uphold. We like to make everything so competitive and so this and that. But then when a female lets her lips hang, then it's kind of like, what? Why?" So Angel Reese, I think she was herself. She was unapologetically herself, and that was necessary. The sport needs that. When is the last time we've seen this much conversation around women's basketball? I would say the women's basketball tournament was comparable to the men's basketball tournament this year. Because again, it wasn't even about the games themselves, but it was so much hype involved. Caitlin did she was amazing throughout the tournament. Carried the team. The stat of scoring or assisting on 60% of her team's baskets throughout the entire tournament is insanity. Like that's crazy. She did her thing. But she lost. And it's okay. She's going to bounce back. If she comes back, she's going to have a great year. Maybe what they can do is, if she can stay healthy, they can build up a rivalry between Paige Buckner's, I think that's how her name is pronounced, and Caitlin Clark. Build that up. I'm pretty sure. I imagine if they played each other, I imagine the trash talking would be insanity. So honestly, this is what I say is WNBA. Get Angel Reese on your court. Let her do her thing. Whether she's a junior, I think she's a senior. But if she's a senior, get her on your court. Let her do her thing. She could be a face of the brand that you need to build hype, to bring people into the stadiums. You remember, LeBron James has always been the guy to either play the bad guy on the outside or play the bad guy kind of, a little, the bad guy who wasn't truly the bad guy. Because you remember when he went to Miami, he kind of leaned into that first season. He leaned into that bad guy role, and they were must see. They even though they didn't come up short, they lost, but people wanted to see that, and I think that's the Angel Reese isn't she's not the bad guy, but she leans into herself, and I think if she continues to lean into herself, she could build something. She could build a great brand for not only herself but for the WNBA. So hey, like I said, WNBA, get Angel Reese on your court. She could be what brings women's basketball back. Part of what brings women's basketball back. But you need that. That's what you need. You need someone like that who's going to be themselves, talk, and do what needs to be done. Be sociable, be in social media, not shy from the camera, not shy to talk on the camera, not shy to talk on the camera that she wants to talk. But yeah, that's what you guys need. And I think from what I saw, from the Elite Eight to the Final Four, it was a great women's basketball tournament. One of the most talked about I've seen in a really long time, and that's what the sport needs. It needs conversations around it. It needs that. To me, it needs that spiciness. But people are gonna feel how they feel, and that's how it is. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you have any thoughts on it, takes, dissertations, theses, whatever, feel free to share. I appreciate you taking the time to check out this video. Feel free to check out some of my other videos. And yeah, hope everybody has a good one. Hope everybody's blessed.